Have you ever heard a sound that just seems to cut right through the air? Well, that's Mongolian Urtiin Duu, or long song. So we're going to follow a professional singer on her quest to master this ancient, really powerful vocal technique. And, well, let's just say she discovers that the journey is a whole lot more complex than she ever imagined. And look, her goal was super clear, super simple. And we're not talking about a beginner here. She's an accomplished professional singer. But what she thought was a quest for just a single piercing note, it turned out to be a journey into the very foundation of how the human voice, the body, and yeah, even culture all work together. And that's the real question here, isn't it? The answer isn't just in the vocal cords, not even close. It's a journey deep into the mechanics of the throat, the coordination of your entire body, and even the very shape of a language. So let's dive in. Let's meet our student and really get a sense of the challenge she's taking on. Yeah, so this is no amateur. She can already do these incredibly complex techniques like yodeling and Japanese kobushi. But that experience, it's kind of a double-edged sword. To master Urtiin Duu, she would literally have to unlearn years and years of muscle memory and professional habits. Okay, so the first and most fundamental step in her training, this is where things get a little weird. It was a series of strange, almost counterintuitive exercises focused completely on isolating and controlling muscles deep inside the throat. I mean, forget your typical scales. Her training involved making sounds called kettle, owl voice, and even goat voice. Seriously. These bizarre exercises are designed to target and strengthen very specific, rarely used parts of the larynx, like the false vocal cords. And here's where it gets really counterintuitive. Her instructor told her to completely ignore the sound she was making. Think about that. The goal wasn't to sound pretty. It was all mechanics. The entire focus was on creating a stable, controlled closure deep in the throat, the sound source. That piercing note she wanted, turns out it's just a byproduct. It only shows up once that foundation is absolutely perfect. And this just shows you how incredibly difficult that is. The student could feel when she was making the wrong sound, but she couldn't figure out the tiny internal adjustment needed to fix it. The muscular difference between edge voice and kagura, which is the correct throat tightening technique, was so minute she couldn't even feel it at first. It's like trying to flex a muscle you didn't even know you had. But just as she started getting a handle on the throat, the target moved. It turned out that mastering this sound wasn't just about the neck up. No, it was a full body equation. The next instruction sounded just as strange as the vocal exercises. Push backwards from your back. But this was the key. By actively tensing her back muscles, she found that other parts of her body, like her jaw and her tongue, would just automatically relax. So this creates this incredible paradox of control. She had to actively tense her back and maintain that super precise closure in her throat, while at the exact same time making sure her tongue and jaw stayed completely loose and relaxed. It's this intense full-body coordination. And this was her reaction. It's just a perfectly relatable moment of total cognitive overload. Trying to coordinate the throat, the back, the tongue, the jaw, and the breath all at once, it felt pretty much impossible. And that is the sheer complexity hidden behind that one, seemingly effortless, piercing note. But the physical training was only part of the story. The next layer of mastery, well, it involved connecting all these physical feelings to the very culture the music comes from. And this is where the physical stuff connects to culture. Her instructor pointed out a specific Mongolian vowel, oo, that requires a mouth shape completely alien to a native Japanese speaker. Mastering the sound wasn't just about practicing language, it was a physical reshaping of her instrument, her mouth, to create the song's authentic sound. And this is the profound insight that just ties it all together. You can't separate the song from the language. To truly sing Urtiin Duu, you have to embody the physical act of speaking Mongolian. The resonance of the language and the resonance of the song, they're one and the same. This brings us to the final unifying concept that really defines this whole learning process. The instructor used the Japanese word kata. Now, you might know it from martial arts, but here it means something more. It's not just a set of moves. It's the complete, holistic form that unites everything we've been talking about. The throat exercises, the body posture, the specific vowel shapes, all of it is one single kata. So, in the end, learning Urtiin Duu was never about just collecting individual skills. It's about embodying this complete form, this kata, and practicing it over and over until all those separate, confusing elements finally merge into one single organic expression.
And that leads to the final question the instructor posed to her. Once you've painstakingly embodied this ancient, complex form, how do you make it your own? How do you move beyond perfect repetition to find your voice inside that tradition? And that, right there, is the universal challenge at the very heart of true mastery.